Hello, my viewers. Well, this is going to go on 2 channels, so just keep that in mind. But I am making a series where I'm making my friends. So that means I'm going to include I'm not going to include their names if they don't want their names out in public. But they are going to be based off of my Pookity Wookities video. So I'm just making this so in the future I can make stories with these OCs about how much fun we had when we were all together, or during those fun stories. So I can basically make a picture for you guys to see it. But let's talk about some stories for Quaid. So if you haven't seen the video or the video of my OC reacting to it, which was my actual reaction. So this is Quaid. In one frame of Ellie's video, she put an incident when we dyed his hair pink. I was going to make his hair pink here, but I decided not to. How fun. But at recess, or we can just call it a break because it wasn't even recess, my girlfriend had hair chalk. So Quaid asked if he could have it on his hair. So then they put it on his hair, and then they decided to gaslight the teachers and everyone that he's always had pink hair. So sadly we got busted and they got in trouble, but it's not her appearance, but it was so funny. We gaslighted some teachers, and then and now he actually wants to have his hair pink. Let's think of another story. I love this. We had a war between these other people. It was just all in good fun, but it ended up getting us in trouble. It was so funny. So, right here, I am probably making his hair, which is difficult to do because his hair basically goes up at the front. But let's go back to the story. So, this is when we weren't really in a friend group, but we were acquaintances. So, he went around asking people to join him in a war. So, it was just something to do during our break, and it escalated a bit too much. So I decided to be a medic, so that means I would heal people, but I was on Quaid's team. And we just decided to throw bombs at them. Fictional. Because this was in real life, but it was so funny. But then it got into a fight. And speaking of fights, there were so many times at the school where there were so many fights. Because at the start of the year, we had 5 fights in the first month, I think. 5 or 3. It was hilarious, obviously. There were a lot of suspensions, so it got a lot of annoying people out of the way. And also, I had this Christmas party, and it was just so funny because 2 of my friends tried to hop the fence they said they were jumping the border. The one who said it was, he's Mexican. He's one of my friends. His name's, he doesn't care about his name coming out. So his name's Aiden. It was just so funny. And they tried to make a movie of it before my dad stopped it. And that just ended up on Quaid and the mother of the group. Let's call her Mother. So Quaid and Mother ended up getting in a candy cane sword fight. And they still have scars. It was war. And I remember some of my friends wanted to jump into the campfire, but no one did. It was just a fun time. I remember this one time when we had Kona Ice, and mine just became juice. We had free Kona Ice Day at the end of the school year, and I'm just like, hey guys, I just have juice. So then we ended up getting diabetes flavor by how sweet and sugary it was. That was so funny. And this kid's just great. He can be the funniest person in the world, but he can unexpectedly, he can do anything. Like, he is really skinny, but he weighs 75 pounds and he can put up a fight. It was so funny how we just support each other in the group. And think of how this kid can swear like a sailor. Like, at our lunch table, we used to, like, make a beat, and then he would start rapping, or we would just sing California Girls. It was so funny. And I remember, like, at the lunch table, we would always talk about what happened in specials, because our specials were right before lunch. So, me and my friend, you might not know him, but I'm just going to call him Jay, like the letter J. So Jay, he was in band with me. He played percussion, I played trumpet. So obviously, we had to explode everyone's eardrums out. But I remember this one thing happened, and it was with this kid that we hated, and we kind of still do hate. His name, let's call him Reef. Yeah, let's call him Reef. So Reef just was a creep. He liked little kids, like second graders, stuff like that. It was kind of creepy. And he said he had a girlfriend, even though his girlfriend was imaginary. He actually told us that. But I remember one time something happened. Jay, the letter J, he walked up to Quaid and he said what happened, and then they just started roasting him. They went up to him and started roasting him. It was just funny. I remember in the last quarter of the school year, I had PE. So that means I finally had a special with Quaid. So we usually always got free time, so that means we could go on the field. And since it was hot and it's summer and it's like the hottest place out here, not saying where, but we just went under shade. But the PE teacher said we had to, well, the PE teacher called Miss Bucks. Miss Bucks used to be a specials teacher, except for the year prior when she became a PE teacher. Like, okay, Miss Bucks is now a PE teacher. And she wanted us to walk around, be active, even though it was like 100 degrees outside. So what do you think we did? Guess. Whatever you said, it better be hid in a corner and sat down and talked. It was just so funny. And on a day when I didn't have PE, but he did, Quaid did, he jumped the fence and in like a shaded area with a lot of trees, there's a fence and it leads to a neighborhood with a cul-de-sac. So apparently he jumped the fence, ran around, and danced in the cul-de-sac. Like, I'm talking about the circle parts of the neighborhood where it's like a lot of houses, but it's just like a circle, but there's no other. You get it. But it was just so funny when I got to lunch and he said, "Hey guys, I hopped the fence." There are so many other times. I remember when I did this. I stole so many sporks. I have over 200 of them. They're in my closet. So that happened, and he was one of my spork employees. So he stole sporks. He gave them to me. And let's say that's where I got my profit. I never sold them to anyone. I'm just keeping them until the last day I'm at that school, and then I'm gonna throw them over the 7th grade teachers. I'll be like, "Here you go." I remember, it's called Mr. Runner. Quaid on his channel already exposed him and said his real name. Mr. Runner, he's fast, but he couldn't keep up with his marriage. I'll just say that, okay? He could be like really mean to you, like really mean. He yelled at Mother for just being Ellie's friend and said that she was being a bad friend, that Mother was being a bad friend, when she didn't do anything wrong, and Ellie was the one that he got mad at. So that's not really good, Mr. Runner. But I remember Quaid said that on the last day of school, he called Mr. Runner by his first name. Let's say Fast. So he's like, "Bye, Fast." No, he didn't say. He said that, but this was the second to last day of school. So we still got to use our Chromebooks. That's what they call our computers. And they got to play music. So Quaid put on one of the best songs, "In a World I Built for You," from Kinito, by the game Kinito Pet. And if you don't know Kinito Pet, you need to finish this video and then go and see what Canadian Pet is. I'm not going to ruin it for you. But it's just, he played the music, and then the teacher, Mr. Runner, said, well, I guess that says a lot about you, Quaid. And then when the bell rang, he said, I guess that says a lot about your marriage, Mr. Fast. And then on the last day of school, he just said Mr. Runner's name. And it's just funny. He can be super defensive, even over his own friends. And, by the way, we had this other teacher that he already said his name. Let's call him Mr. P. I have bad memories with that man. But he did not seem like the person to be around children. Let's just say that. Because of all this stuff that he did to the kids who were in that grade before us. And he's probably gonna do it to the kids next year. But he sent Quaid out for just asking for a piece of paper. That was funny. Oh, right, one time, Mr. Runner, he told Quaid to. So Quaid decided to wear a dress. So he was wearing clothes underneath, and then he got a dress from my girlfriend because she brought one because he asked her to bring one. And he threatened to call Quaid's dad. And that's just rude. Like, who cares if he's wearing a dress? But that's wrong on you, Mr. Runner. That's wrong on you, Fast. But back to Mr. P. Mr. P was just like, he could get angry really easily. He was really loud. That did not help with anyone, especially my friend, especially Mother. That did not help with anyone. And he was very unreasonable. And he was just creepy. And also, he loved Disney. Like, a lot. Like, no offense to Disney adults, but still, that doesn't really sound right. Because, like, he was the science teacher, so he used to do cahoots with random Disney things. But let's go back to Quaid. So, Quaid, once he brought a sprinkler that he ripped from the ground, and he told us at the lunch table that it was a pipe bomb. And then he's like, nah, it's just a sprinkler. It was sadly confiscated. But, man, this kid's just one of the best people in the world. We used to have Gay Quaid Wednesdays. No. Zesty Quaid Wednesdays. So he always acted zesty because he's that one Pookie. He acted zesty. It was just so funny. And he enjoyed it. We all did. And then for Pride Month, he has to act zesty for the whole entire month. So zesty day. He's being zesty. That was really funny. And on the last week of school, we had Zesty Week friend group. But if you get to know this guy, you'll see how he's just a good person. He's really nice. He helps everyone he sees. And he's just funny. He's a likable person. And if you say no, I don't think you're really likable. Because you gotta get to know him. And if you didn't know, on the Silly Billies, I am a host there, and I host with Quaid. So, this is going out to the other host, and, well, Quaid the host, and me. Yes, we are working on making videos. Yes, it's taking a long time. Yes, he's the one who's editing them. And yes, when I post videos, I'm just bored. So yeah, I'll make a video about my irregular, uploading schedule. And I think I'll just leave you guys there. But if you have any questions about merch, we have that in our description, I'm pretty sure. This video is being made by RoseAcozE, me, Rose, and it's going to be featured on both channels. If this channel is not called The Silly Billies, or RoseAcozE, or That Fandom Girl, because look at the apps. But I am not putting, well, I'm not going to have people remix this video, but I'm not putting my, marker on this because I trust people not to take my things. But thank you just for watching this. But I'm going to cut you off here. This is your host, RoseAcozE, signing off. And remember, kids, bye! Have a great day, and don't do drugs.